got people. I'll mute everybody, John. So if you want to say anything over the top of the video, you unmute yourself.
Right. Okay, that's it.
I was just going to ask the question: did you do any coupling or uncoupling on on the layout?
Yeah, these N-gauge dipole couplings which work with a magnet underneath.
Yeah.
So the train that's trapped in the end of the terminus, you can still pull the train out because there's a magnet under the coupling. So you can decouple it when the train needs to pull the train. You know, the engine needs to pull the train out of the station. The reason the other train stopped in the platform is that I have 3 speeds set for each train, and then when it gets to a track center it goes to middle speed, and then when it gets in the platform it goes to the slowest speed, and then it gets to a reed switch and a stop command is issued, and I manage the transition between the speeds by altering the delay and acceleration CVs in the decoder, so you get a smooth transition. And that's what it does. The railway is only a simulation. It's not meant to be a prototype model or anything like that. And it's all done in software in that particular command station. I can't do programming or although I did do a bit of assembler when I had an Acorn Atom before the BBC Micro, but I haven't done that for years. Anyway, there you are. Any questions?
You'd have to unmute yourselves to ask question, chaps.
Just a very interesting demo, John.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Roger.
John, what's the block detection?
Well, we're using the same thing. I'm using Marklin's S88 system, which you're using, Paul, I believe.
No, I'm not using.
I'm using these LDT.
Oh, LDT, yeah.
Yeah, the Finsi Datec S88 track sensors.
Yeah, mine's the RS type.
Yes,
I use them with lens.
The railway wasn't designed for automation. I just got fed up running trains and hitting points set in the wrong direction. Decided to go to automation, and because all the frogs have insulated both tracks, the railway was already divided into sections, and all I had to do was connect one rail to each S88 connector, and I've got blocks all over.
Yeah.
Using that, but it wasn't part of the original design.
When you say blocks all over, do you follow the philosophy of trying to keep a whole train into each block, or do you add smaller blocks than the length of trains because you have the number of ways available?
No, you see, because it's an existing railway, some of the blocks are very small, some of the blocks are very large. It's not managed in the basis of trying to keep trains within a block. I just set up a route, and you have a start, a sensor, a destination sensor, and points and so on change all on the way. And it's not running as a true railway with blocks where you can't go to the next blocks because the block is full. It's not managed like that, because it was never conceived as a proper sectioned railway.
But there are no collisions when you run it automatically.
No. When I set these various routes up, the controller will identify routes that clash and stop you doing things like that. Yes, it built into the software. Yes.
Yeah.
But with the reed switches, so the reed switches are used also to sound, change the speed of the train, and also to sound the horn or other effects that you want. And that I find that quite good, because being interested in sound, you see. And I've got about 25 locos fitted with sound now, which has taken about, I don't know, about 10 years.
It takes a long time to save up the money, doesn't it?
It does take an awful long time. And when you've put a sound decoder in a couple of times and blown it up, it's a very painful experience.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
Well, I have.
It costs a lot of money, that does.
Well, that's why it took so long to do it. The railway you're seeing is about 14 years old. I started as a retirement project, and the modelling hasn't changed for years. But the automation, that controller, by the way, as a Wiesmann controller, is a German company. You don't see much in this country. I've now changed it to a Marklin CS3, which was a Marklin central station. But that's got additional facilities like built-in speaker. So now I can record station announcements which don't come with the decoder. And this new controller has those facilities as well, you see.
So there's no PCs involved? There's no computers, separate computers involved?
No computers involved at all. The only computing is used for loading the updates to the software in the controller. And of course, I can show you a web. I could show you, but I forgot to do it. I could show you a web connection to my railway now over the web. I could have shown it, but forgot to do it.
Yeah.
John, I'm curious on how you define the sequence. So do you set up a route for each train, and then the command station has a sequence of those routes?
Yes, a route is set for each train. It must have a start and destination, and also the points and so on all the way. And then when you set a number of routes, the software will identify those that clash. And remember, it's only a 2-track railway. It's very hard to get 3 trains that are not going to clash somewhere. So it takes quite a bit of management to work the routes and make them function, because I'm not using blocks in a traditional sense.
Okay, so the system doesn't let one train wait until the block is free. That's what you're saying?
Only if I've arranged for that. Yes. So you saw what happened, didn't you, when that train waited for the main train to come back? That's all been managed by me. I haven't automated that in that way. But
so you can make the trains crash.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And sometimes I have made a mistake and they have clashed. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting approach, because most people would think you just need a computer to manage all of that, but that's obviously being done by the command station.
Well, it is a computer. It's using
Yeah, but
it's using Linux software probably, but it is a computer.
yeah, but it has set routes, and can you set one to run after another, or?
Yes, yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can make, you can join the route. So when one is nearly finishing, you can make it start another route.
Yeah.
Or several routes. So you get an interlinkage going on if you want it. But as I say, on a 2-track railway, it takes a lot of thinking and planning to make it work.
Yeah.
It's the sort of thing you could possibly do with our Pi.
Do what?
Didn't quite catch
With
that.
a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, you can use
the computer to.
Yes. There's you could use, I mean, I have connected Rockrail to it, but and I used to have train controller, but I couldn't cope for some reason. I couldn't cope with those, and I find this particular commander set very easy to use. Very, it's all touch screen software. It's easy to use. It's all visual, which suits me.
How does this compare with JMRI automation? Does anybody know?
It sounds like they're at two extremes to me, because JMRI, you're going to have to do your own interlocking and sequencing and scripting, and with what John's got there, it looks like it's a sort of a quick and easy method of getting trains moving automatically.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the thought of writing scripts and something just wouldn't appeal to me.
No.
I wanted something that's almost like a smartphone. You just touch the screen and you make it happen.
Yeah.
If you want to know about JMRI, that's the subject of the 2nd of October presentation, which I'm going to be doing. I'm presenting my JMRI implementation with scripts. So hopefully, if anybody's interested in that, that will they can see more detail then.
Yes.
Look forward to that, Dave.
Yeah, it's all ready to go. I've written it, and I'm going to use my wife as a guinea pig and run through it with her. So that goes.
John, can you hear me?
Yes.
What do you use Merg for in your system?
So I didn't catch that.
What do you use Merg for?
All my 16 Kit 52 DCC accession decoders are all Merg. I protect the command station with the booster, the Merg booster, and the signals are using Kit 53 kit and the SD2 signal drivers. So I wasn't able to show you when that video was done, the signals weren't working, but they are all working electrically now. So that's all the merged kits I'm using. Yes, yes. But the reason for not using, say, DT8 for track sensing is because the Wiesmann Commander comes with the built-in connections for Mark Kling's S88 track sensing system, which is incredibly reliable.
John, do you have any sort of mimic or display as to where trains are?
Yes, I haven't explained that. On the track diagram, which you briefly saw on the screen, the train, the name of the train is shown within the track sensor. And as the train moves from sensor to sensor in the software, the train visibly moves on the screen to each track sensor. Okay.
Yeah.
So any time you can see where the trains are, and the name of the train appears in the track sensor block in red, provided you set up the route with a proper start and a proper destination, so that the software can work out, and all the sensors on the way are all properly there in the route. Yes, that's a marvelous feature of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure JMRI does all that, as far as from what I've seen.
I'm not sure actually. We'll need to wait till October to find out, won't we?
Yes, we do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've only done an introduction to JMRI. I try my best to learn all these different technologies, but it's a long way to go yet on JMRI.
Yes, yeah. Well, of course, previously, of course, I've got this terrible thing of us having the latest technology, what I think is the latest technology. The previous controller was the ECOS, which is also a touchscreen controller, does shuttles, but doesn't do automation. So that's why
shuttles could be conceived to be automation, but what you mean,
yes.
it's full layout automation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this particular controller does have the ability to do several shuttles as separate routines. Yeah.
Well, if you've had an ECOS unit, you could fill in the gaps on our website, couldn't you, about the ECOS unit, and tell us what you think.
Which website are you talking on? In the section of MERG where you describe various controllers?
Yeah, yeah. Well, in the automation special interest group, we've got our own pages.
Oh, right. I haven't thought of that.
Yeah. So the idea there is that if someone's got a piece of kit,
Yes,
that they know inside out, they've
Yes.
used it, they can put some pictures up, they can describe their experiences with it and the pros and and cons about it, and the rest of us can then gain from that experience whether or not it's worth investigating.
well, okay, I could do that. Yes.
Yeah, because I've done what I can for a few systems that I've used, so
Yes.
um,
Yes.
yeah.